Your sister was just offering me a drink. Some cold water would be perfect. Thanks. So, you and your sister are from New York.
My sister is a traveler, and I live right here in Queen Anne's Gate. Here's your water, Mr. Kent.
Thanks. Your sister tells me you're a brilliant woman.
I have a few opinions about European common currency. That hardly makes me brilliant.
Well, you're the first Jewish woman I've met to run a Hong Kong bank.
I'm the first woman to run a Hong Kong bank, Mr. Kent.
It's short for Kantlowitz. You're looking at your watch. Would you prefer if I left?
I'm just wondering what time my daughter's coming home.
I'll relax. I had 3 children who never came home, and they turned out fine. My oldest, Kip, is a semiotics professor at Boston University. That means he screens Hiroshima Mon Amour once a week. My other boy is a radiologist in North Carolina, Chapel Hill. And my baby, Ava, is a forest ranger in Israel. That means she works with the Parks Department in Haifa. And your daughter?
We're hoping she'll be up at Oxford next year.
She wants to stay here for school.
From what we've heard about the States, I think it's wise.
Well, tell me what we've heard.
It's conventional wisdom, really.
Really?
Well, obviously what you have is a society in transition. You've got an industrial economy that is rapidly being transformed into a transactional one. And that's exacerbated by a growing disenfranchised class, decaying inner cities, and a bankrupt educational system. Don't misunderstand me, Mr. Kantlowitz.
Kant, like the philosopher.
In many ways, America is a brilliant country, but it's becoming as class-driven a society as this one.
So, you're a hotshot Jewish lady banker who's secretly a Marxist.
This is hardly the time to be a Marxist.
But your sister's right. You are a brilliant woman.
Excuse me, Mr. Kent. I really should check on my roast.
Oh, are we having roast beef and Yorkshire pudding? Ha! Blimey! I've been hoping for a good old-fashioned high-cholesterol English meal. I had a banger for breakfast this morning.
It was lovely to meet you, Mr. Kent.
Whenever I come over here, I treat myself to one blowout meal at Simpson's in the Strand.
Only Americans eat there. It's a tourist trap.
Well, that's why I was so delighted when Jeffrey invited me here for dinner tonight.
Jeffrey did what?
And I said to myself, Merv, this way you can avoid that tourist trap Simpsons in the Strand and have a good old-fashioned Anglo-Saxon Jewish meal.
How intimate are you with Jeffrey, Mr. Kent?
I'd say we have a close working relationship.
Oh?
When Jeffrey's musical, The Scarlet Pimpernel, moved to New York last season, there arose during rehearsal a need, an emergency need for the signature chartreuse pelts. And while the British production blithely used dyed scarlet fox, the anti-fur lobby in New York pressed into early action. So my services were recommended by Jeffrey's producer, Mr. Bernard Lasker, and that was the beginning of a very beautiful friendship.
So you're a showbiz furrier.
I used to be a showbiz and novelty furrier. Now I am the world leader in synthetic animal protective covering. And Sarah, to this day, my one regret is that while the anti-furries were still picketing, I didn't have Jeffrey sign over to me 0.25% of that pumpernickel. Next year I could be playing in Tokyo, Reykjavik, and in 47 cities worldwide.
Mr. Kent.
Please, call me Merv. You call me Mr. Kent. I think I'm your high school principal.
Mr.
My hunch is we're roughly the same age.
Mr. Merv, today is my 54th birthday.
We are the same age, roughly.
My sister Penny has flown here from Bombay, and my other sister, Gorgeous, is due to shortly from Newton, Massachusetts.
Well, that's exactly why I want to be here at your birthday party. Sounds like there'll be such interesting people here. You know, I can't believe your father named you Sarah and your other sister Gorgeous.
We're not just having a roast, actually. The roast is part of a cassoulet that calls for beans, lamb, and duck and pork sausage. I don't recall the rules precisely, but if any of those go against your or the Rabbi of Dublin's religious or dietary regimen, you might want to get to Simpson's in the Strand after all.
And what would I tell Jeffrey?
That I behaved rather rudely and scared you away.
Do you tend to do that with men?
Are you a psychiatrist in addition to a furrier?
Shh, please. Synthetic animal covering.
In answer to your question, yes. Some men find me threatening.